Happy Monday, y'all. Today, we finally get to continue our conversation about Prince Harry's engagements in the UK. I know we took a little detour on Friday. And then, of course, those of you who follow me on Chats and Chills know we had a really big weekend. So today, I am finally able to dedicate my morning to the goings-on of the Duke of Sussex. So we're going to talk about his incredible interview with Allison Hammond. I want to talk about that so bad because when I tell you I had to unscrew my smile while watching that, I know what a big moment that was for her, but I can't speak for everyone else. But for those of you who I can speak for, was that not a feeling like we were also meeting him in that way for the first time? Like her energy was so palpable. It felt like we were meeting him. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that she did not temper herself or her excitement in any way, shape, or form. And I'm so glad that he was so open and energetic and he received it so well and he gave it back. It was just such a great moment of great energy. And it's just one of those reminders to people who choose to look the other way. It's just another reminder of just how loved Harry and Meghan really are, because the media will tell you otherwise. And so, but not Allison Hammond. So I have to talk about that. But we're also going to talk about Prince Harry's speech and his encounter with Scotty's little soldiers. We're going to talk about his 1 year to go statements. We got a lot to get into today, y'all. Buckle up. Let's get started. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to get caught up with all things Prince Harry since Thursday evening up until today with what he was up to in the UK. Now, before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video. Almost forgot what we were doing here. Like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to hype if you'd like. I know you only get 3. Thanks to those of you who reminded me of that. I know you only get 3. So if you want to use one of them on me this week, I'd appreciate it. But if not, I get it. They limit us for right now. Hopefully we see that change. You should be able to hype up whoever you want to hype up. But anyway, YouTube, from me to you. But before we get into this, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hype, and comment along the way. So we're going to turn it over to Feminegra in an article written by my fave, Miss Historian, titled, quote, "Birmingham means a hell of a lot to veterans. Prince Harry marks Invictus countdown." Prince Harry continued his UK visit on Friday, July 10th, marking the 1 year countdown to the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham. He visited the National Exhibition Center, the site of next summer's adaptive sporting competition for sick and wounded service personnel and veterans and their families, and took part in exhibition events including wheelchair rugby, a laser run, and pickleball. He was solo for the outing, although Meghan Sussex was originally scheduled to join him. Thank you so much, Miss Historian, for acknowledging her and also the original plans. Again, Miss Historian is my fave. She always shows the utmost respect and care for how she reports on Harry and Meghan and their children, and I just could not express my gratitude for that. It always feels good to open an article knowing that I'm getting not only an unbiased and a very professional reporter or journalist, and I know that I'm reading something that's safe to read and broadcast to the people who watch my channel, but also she handles it with such care, and I appreciate it. I also want to point out, pickleball is just taking over. Y'all have heard me acknowledge this several times. It seems like a very fun sport. I actually have a pickleball center down the street from where I live. And so I've been talking about wanting to go try it out. I just find it to be so funny how it has become such a massive trend. And it feels like out of nowhere. Maybe I'm just out of the loop, but I just think it's so cool how this thing that I didn't know about, I didn't even know pickleball existed like 7 years ago. And now I'm always hearing about it. But anyway, justice for badminton. It was announced the day prior that Meghan had no plans to make any public appearances in the UK amid ongoing security concerns, but Harry did not look like a man weighed down by drama. His family's absence from public events did not define the day, so for the most part, he looked like a man doing exactly what he was meant to be doing. No, he is a professional, both of them are. They know how to just get on with it, do the job. I mean, dare I say stiff upper lip and just get it done, except he's personable and engaging and he stays present and in the moment. He's a very great person to have advocating for your cause or for your platform, etc. Like working with Prince Harry, it just seems like brands and organizations and companies get so much out of it because he is the consummate professional. The Allison Hammond interview, warmth, laughter, and a reminder of who Harry really is. In a separate moment during his Birmingham visit, Prince Harry sat down with Allison Hammond for a light, joyful interview that stood in stark contrast to the heavy coverage that has surrounded his UK trip. The exchange was relaxed, funny, and human. Hammond, who brings an effortless warmth to her interviews, great description, I completely agree with that, teased Prince Harry about his appearance on the Stephen Colbert Show, where he had imitated her. Quote, "They found out that I am one of your secret admirers and that I follow your every move," she said. Prince Harry laughed. They bantered about ackee and saltfish. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Hammond invited him to her house. He did not say no. I was really surprised. I mean, he just seems like the type of person that you just become completely disarmed around. I mean, he makes people comfortable. We've talked about this in all of his interviews. You would think that knowing you're about to interview a royal family member, and not just any royal, but like the most popular born royal, I mean, maybe even of all time, people love Prince Harry. They love Prince Harry just as much, if not more, than they loved his grandmother. And that is saying something. And I'm only speaking of born royals at this moment. But he's knowing that you're going to interview a royal family member, but also like when I think of born royals, I think Harry is like the royal in that aspect. And of course, married royals, I would think Meghan. So knowing you're going to interview either one of them would probably fill the normal person with a bit of anxiety. You want to make sure you don't miss anything. You want to make sure that you ask questions people are interested in hearing, and you don't want to give like run-of-the-mill questions and ask them something they hear all the time. You want to avoid redundancy. And you kind of have all these things, in your heart, whatever, in your head that you want to make sure you execute and you're not doing the wrong thing, stepping the wrong way. You can't touch them too much, blah, blah. Baby, the way Allison said, forget all of that. I'm talking to Harry right now. The Duke of Sussex, yes, all respect is due, et cetera, et cetera. But this is Harry, and we about to be friends when this is over. And she interviewed him the exact same way I can imagine myself interviewing him if I were ever to be in the same space with him and he were open to an interview. I would absolutely struggle to keep the excitement at bay. And seeing how he responded, I'm like, I love that he let her be human and he didn't make her feel silly about it. And something tells me she wouldn't have given a damn one way or the other. This just felt more like I know that this is their first meeting, but did it not feel like people who should have been old friends reuniting? So the next time they meet, they will be friends reuniting essentially, but it just felt like in another world, they were supposed to already be friends and they're just catching up. They're just playing catch up. So I love their first interaction, how excited she got when she found out like, oh my God, I'm going to interview Harry, and how that excitement did not wane throughout the interview. It was palpable. The interview was not all jokes. Harry spoke movingly about the Invictus Games and the veterans they serve. He traced the inspiration for the games back to 2008 when he was on a plane returning from Afghanistan. 3 British soldiers lay in induced comas in front of him. Quote, "I thought, wow, this is the kind of stuff that so many people don't see and don't know that it's happening," he said. Yes, war changes people, not just being in war, but seeing war up close. It changes people. And there's so many different ways that people can be impacted by the realities of war. And I love that while, yes, seeing that, experiencing that, being on the front lines was probably extremely harrowing for Prince Harry. And we heard him describe the many nuances of that experience, of those experiences in Spare. But knowing that he was able to, because he had the platform, the resources, and the connections, and the fortitude, he was able to use that inspiration in that moment that could have plagued him forever, and he turned that into something constructive, and he's helped thousands of people with that choice. I just find that to be so admirable. And these are the types of people that you want to be in positions of leadership. These are the types of people that you want to be so highly visible and have these massive platforms, because this is what they do with it. What good does it do for someone to have the world in their hands and do nothing but close it? Like, no, you want that kind of person to create more avenues for access, create more avenues for help, create more avenues for aid and rehabilitation and community. You want people to utilize their resources, especially resources that they're born into, that they could very much feel entitled to, and turn that into something that benefits so many people, and not just those people directly impacted, but their families who are also impacted as well. Anyway, y'all know I'm trying so hard not to go on an Invictus tangent. I'm trying my best, but y'all know I just have such deep admiration for the Invictus Games Foundation, as well as the games and everyone involved. I just think and the Warrior Games as well. I just think what incredible movements. Our veterans don't get nearly enough acknowledgement, let alone praise and opportunities to really parlay their skills and their interests into community building efforts, but also to showcase those skills and efforts. They rarely get those moments where they're highlighted in a very real, tangible way. And I love how at the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf, how I just felt like the veterans were kind of not put up on a pedestal, but just their service was acknowledged, their effort was acknowledged, their skills were acknowledged. And I felt like everywhere they went on the Invictus campus, I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's like, the Invictus neighborhood. It's just like where everything is set up within those walls. But I just felt like the Invictus campus was just filled with such a sense of pride, community, and connection. I didn't know anyone there with the exception of my husband and like 5 squatties that I met that had come across my channel before. And y'all, why one of them recognized me from my laugh. I was buying stuff in the store in one of the shops, and I laughed about a joke my husband made with the clerk. I think we had tried out some German, and he was like, very good, very good. And we were laughing about that. And she was like, please correct me if I'm wrong, but are you Sharion? And my husband was like, did she really recognize you from your laugh? And I said, I think she did. And so, I mean, you gonna know that country anywhere, but especially in Europe. But anyway, I said all that to say, I didn't know anyone outside of my husband and a couple of squatties that I met, yet I felt like I was in community with everyone and I wasn't even competing. I was just a spectator. So that just kind of gives you an idea for those who haven't been there. I hope you have the opportunity to go, to volunteer, to be a part, to spectate, to even compete if you would qualify. I hope everybody has an opportunity to experience Invictus in the way that makes sense. There is nothing else like it. Anyway, let me continue, y'all. I'm sorry, I don't want to go on a tangent. That moment led Prince Harry to the Warrior Games in 2013, and then to the creation of the Invictus Games in 2014. That was sport literally rehabilitating the soul, the mind, and the body. And I was like, we need to make this thing international. Allison Hammond asked him about Ukraine, and Prince Harry spoke with gratitude about the country's inclusion in the Invictus community before the war began. Quote, instead of wounded people being sort of pushed to one side, which is in so many societies around the world that happens, they are treated as absolute gods, as heroes, and so they should be. I agree. I mean, they're making the ultimate sacrifice. When Hammond asked what the essence of the games was, Prince Harry replied, and also paused, excellent question. Quote, overcoming adversity, no matter who you are, where you are, whatever you've come up against, you can see those guys and think, well, if they can do it, I can bloody well do it as well. Hammond asked if his children tell him they are proud of him every day. I don't know if every day was intended to be originally part of the question, or if that was just something that kind of came out, because even I said every day, my goodness. Prince Harry smiled and said, they don't tell me every day that they're proud of me, but yeah, I'm proud of them. They're proud of me. I love my family. Oh, okay. Also pause. When people gush about their families, that is like a very sweet spot to me. That's just something that you just don't see a lot. I've noticed a lot of people, they make connections. Not every parent does this. And I know a lot of people, it's just lighthearted fun. So I'm not criticizing, but a lot of people make connections on kind of like the woes of parenthood or the woes of family life. Like, oh my gosh, let me get back for the old ball and chain, or, oh my gosh, they never stop talking, and blah, blah, blah. And that's not a bad, I'm not criticizing when it's all well and good and well-meaning. But a lot of people do make connections based on the woes of parenthood, that I actually just have such a sweet spot for people who love talking about the things that they love. And again, I want to reiterate, because I know this is the internet and people will take what you say and make it something different. I'm not saying parents don't deserve a safe space to share, because it's not always, cherries and rainbows and sparkles and things. I get that. Trust me. I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. So all my heart goes out to you and to those people who, they need those spaces to talk about the woes of parenthood and marriage and life. So everybody should have a safe space to talk about the downsides to everything. But you often hear the jokes and the candor about, oh, here we go, I got to sit through another Pee-wee game. And people do that it's kind of a rarity to hear people kind of gush about their families. And I've always loved that. I remember walking around the corner of my granddad's church. I was coming around the corner for a terrible reason. I'd accidentally put a $10 bill into the collection plate, and I meant to put a 1, and I was going in there to ask him if I could have $9. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. That is a funny story for another day. His reaction to me asking him that, particularly in front of all his deacons, I'm sure they were like, what are you teaching this child? But I'm all about fiscal responsibility. It was a mistake I made. But anyway, I walk around the corner and he doesn't see me. And somebody had asked him, they were like, oh, you got your grandbabies here today. And he was like, yep, my grandbabies, my 2 girls. I got them for the summer. It's about to be the best summer of my life. And I'm sure he didn't mean that literally. I'm sure he was just saying that. But like hearing him say that, and he might have also been sarcastic. You have to know my granddaddy to know he can be sarcastic. But hearing him say that, when I tell you it took me days for my smile to fade, I was just so happy because I was also excited to spend time with my grandparents. And they were like, well, that's good. I know that little one, I was the little one. They were like, I know that little one, she can be a challenge. And he was like, no, she just likes to have fun. And so do I. And he defended me. When I tell you, hearing people gush about family, it's a soft spot for me ever since that day. And it really does have a big impact. Anyway, this was such a sweet moment with Allison Hammond and Prince Harry. I thought that was so cute that he was like, I love my family. Like, you damn right you do, Prince Harry. And everybody should feel that way. This interview is exactly why people respond to Prince Harry when he is allowed to speak without the royal rota translating his every breath into misery. Allison Hammond has that rare gift as an interviewer. She does not let people stay stiff, rehearsed, or overly polished. She brings out the human being underneath the title, and with Harry, that really works. Their energy felt warm, natural, and funny, not like a palace-approved performance, but like 2 people actually enjoying the conversation. Birmingham was chosen as the host city for a reason that has nothing to do with royal politics. For years, the city's hospitals treated wounded soldiers from Afghanistan, including troops from other countries. That legacy gives the Invictus Games a powerful and meaningful homecoming here. I love hearing that. That's really good. And I'm really glad that they were able to work something out to where even if Meghan wasn't at the events, that she was still within the presence of it or in proximity to it. And who knows, she might have been there. You just don't know. She might not have been visible, but she might have been able to be there. You just don't know. What stands out most is how comfortable Prince Harry looks around people. He is not awkwardly performing service from a distance. He gets involved. That is why these appearances hit differently. I agree, Miss Historian. You can see Princess Diana in him, not because he is copying her, but because his ease with people feels real. No wonder so many people call him the People's Prince. Yes, I've said this before and I will say it again. He embodies her essence, her energy, her light is not gone from this world. It is tucked safely with her son and her grandchildren and her daughter-in-law. She is absolutely still here. Honestly, that must drive certain people mad. Probably, girl. The press keeps insisting Prince Harry is isolated, bitter, and broken, despite him saying several times how happy he is. And when I told y'all that Harry was popping up and he never had shoes on in those home videos, I said, oh, y'all never getting him back. That man has been existing in a shoeless life as someone who lived in the country for part of my life in high school. And we lived on a nice big acre with a pond. And I didn't put shoes on unless we were getting in the car going somewhere. It is real hard to be rehabilitated from a shoeless life outdoors. There's no peace quite like it. And they have all that garden and they feel those ocean breezes. Oh no, Prince Harry is more than happy exactly how things are and exactly where he is. You're not about to get bitterness out of him. If anything, you're about to see a whole heap of relief. Like, I didn't know life could be like this. He always just looks so happy. Anyway. Then he appears at Invictus or WellChild looking relaxed, engaged, and full of life. The photos do not match the narrative they keep trying to sell. Prince Harry is not perfect. Nobody is. But what he does have is warmth, purpose, and a clear connection to the communities he supports. That is not something you can fake with a ribbon cutting, a forced smile, or a carefully managed palace photo op. This is what real service looks like. Not stiff performance, not duty as branding, just showing up, connecting with people, and making them feel seen.
It was it.
Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and patron of WellChild UK, made a very special stop to a children's hospital in Birmingham. In his role as patron of WellChild, the Duke of Sussex visited Birmingham Children's Hospital on Thursday, July 9th, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the very first WellChild nurse. The role, created in 2006 and funded in part by Prince Harry, was designed to support children with complex medical needs and their families, coordinating care between the hospital and home. Prince Harry became patron of WellChild in 2007 and has continued to support the charity's work of improving the quality of life for seriously ill children and their families. He has continued to attend the organization's events, including the annual WellChild Awards in the UK, despite stepping back from his royal role in 2020 and relocating to California with Meghan Sussex and their 2 children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana. WellChild's chief executive, Matt James, told People after Harry's visit that it was a wonderful day. It certainly looked like it in the video that they released. Quote, "We are celebrating 20 years of the program this year, and to celebrate that with the Duke, who has contributed to that work, was a really special moment," James says. The Duke of Sussex really brought some more sunshine to a bright and sunny day. I also have to say, having the Invictus Games in Birmingham and having the 1 year to go this year in Birmingham, as well as the 20th anniversary of WellChild, the first WellChild nurse, all of it is coming full circle, and I'm starting to get a more well-rounded understanding of why Birmingham was chosen as the next location of Invictus. It all seems to be working out by design, which I think is wonderful, and I'm really glad that they are able, particularly Prince Harry, is able to attend these events and make these visits and be so present. I know how it's important to him, as he illustrated in Spare very well, how important it is for him to be able to show up for the organizations that he is still working with, and how important his work, not only in philanthropy, but his humanitarian work is to him. And so it's wonderful that all of it is seeming to kind of come together in Birmingham at the same time. I think that's wonderful. James added, quote, "For me, it was the positivity of him coming that was really felt by everyone in the hospital. There was a real buzz around the hospital with people coming out to see him. The NHS is under a lot of pressure and is going through very challenging times. His presence here has helped given everyone a bit of a lift and a morale boost at a time that is really needed. We are delighted." Last year, Prince Harry attended the annual WellChild Awards on September 8th, coinciding with the 3rd anniversary of the death of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. In a speech there, he spoke about his long-standing connection to the charity. Quote, "I still remember my very first WellChild Awards 18 years ago, before the beard, the hair, you know how it is. I walked into the room, and within about 3 minutes, I realized 2 things. The love and energy in the room was palpable, so too was the unpredictability," he said, per Hello Magazine. "And second, that I was completely hooked on it all," he said. "This night has been a highlight of my year ever since, and it's all because of you guys, these children, this cause, and our WellChild community. Thank you for showing us the light when all too often darkness can consume us." I could not agree more. Here's a little bit more.
We met at the award ceremony 2 years ago. I've got someone to meet you.
Hello. Do you love the Lego movie? Do you know who is obsessed with Lego? My son. Obsessed. And he's very good at building things. How are we? Nice to see you. I mean, try this off, I can have a wet hand.
Prince Harry, can I introduce you? This is Bilal.
How did you find yourself? Tell me your story.
So, I had like a septic shock. 3-2 Norway.
There we go. There you go. Any more football-related questions? Just an enormous thank you to all of you guys. I don't know if you hear it enough, but the difference that you make every single day is quite literally changing and saving lives. You're putting everybody else ahead of yourself, and as I said, next door, as we're always reminded as we get onto a plane, you need to fit your own mask before helping others, and I hope that you are able to do that. We understand that becomes harder every week with cuts and financial difficulties, just the insanity that seems to be circulating, not just in this country in general. But hospitals like this don't run without people like you.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
But it's quite deep as well, right? It's a lot.
You've been wearing this for 3 years. Do you have to wear it from the You pick up the stuff.
The Duke of Sussex also attended the Scotty's Little Soldiers Summer Festival. The Duke of Sussex headed to Scotty's Summer Festival at Maxstoke Castle in Warwickshire on Saturday. The event was put on by Scotty's Little Soldiers, a charity that supports children who lost a parent who served in the armed forces. Prince Harry, who also lost his own mother, Princess Diana, when he was just 12 and also served in the British Army, has supported the organization since 2017 and became their global ambassador in 2023. Scotty's Little Soldiers was set up in 2010 by Nikki Scott, whose husband, Corporal Lee Scott, died when he was on tour in Afghanistan in 2009. During the event, Prince Harry took part in goat yoga and was pelted with water balloons on an inflatable obstacle course. First of all, I can't think of a better way to spend a summer day. I'm just saying, Prince Harry is living the life. In addition to the fun, there was also an emotional moment when a 9-year-old girl named Poppy, oh, that's so cute, whose father, Able Seaman Daniel Turnbull, died in July of 2020 from leukemia, asked, quote, "What makes you laugh when you've had a difficult day?" Oh, what a poignant question for a 9-year-old. The Duke of Sussex patted his heart, he patted his heart and said, "That got me right there." I mean, that's a great question to ask. What an incredible question, especially for a 9-year-old. Quote, "You know what? Sometimes it's just a difficult day. It's not always possible to laugh," he continued. "But my dog makes me laugh. My children make me laugh. And if I need to laugh, I'll probably put something really funny on the television." I want to pause there for a second and kind of point out what he said. Those tips are great. Playing with your pets, being with your children and family, and watching something funny on TV. Lord knows Martin Lawrence has seen me through the worst of times in my life, as well as Insecure. I love a good television program. What's happening now. I love Cooley High. Anyway, we could do when I'm having a bad day, you'll probably know because I'm about to be with Preach and Cochise. They get me through it. But something else he said, sometimes it's just a difficult day. This kind of sounds similar to what when I was a kid, my parents divorced. They announced their divorce in the same week that my uncle died, and he just happened to be my favorite uncle. And so it was a pretty bad week. And so my teacher took me to the therapist in my school, and I was attending Rise Academy in Richardson, Texas back then. And so she took me to the therapist. I sat every Thursday at lunch with that therapist until 6th grade. And this happened in 2nd grade. And so I remember when I was talking to her about some days I don't remember any of it is happening. I just come to school and I'm having a really good day, and then I go home and I play with my sister or our cats or our rabbits, and I don't even remember that any of this stuff is going on, especially since my dad worked a split shift. Sometimes I wouldn't see him only in the morning. So when they divorced, it was really weird because sometimes I would completely forget that he wasn't coming home, because if I didn't see him in the morning, I'd just be like, oh, he's still asleep. So sometimes there would be weeks where I would forget until I remembered. But I remember telling her that when I did remember, if it was like in the middle of the day, and I would remember that sometimes my teacher would let me call him from the office and he would come and have lunch with me, which then turned into a weekly thing he would do. And my therapist was saying, like, when you don't have the option to call and when you don't have the option to see him, how do you feel? And I was like, I feel really bad, and I get really sad and I cry, and I don't know how to cheer myself up. And I feel really bad because then I'm making the whole house sad. And she said, well, the whole house probably feels what you're feeling. So when they see you feeling sad, they feel like it's okay to also be sad. And it's not something to be fixed. It's just something to be experienced, and it will go away. But it is okay to be sad, because losing a family member and your uncle and having such big changes at home is sad. It doesn't mean that other great things won't come from it. And that doesn't mean that you won't get used to it. But it is sad sometimes, and it is okay. There's nothing wrong with being sad. Now contrast that to sometimes when I would get sad, I would hear, oh, cheer up, oh, stop, or don't sit over there with your lips poking out, or oh my God, here you go with your attitude. But in my mind, when I would hear those things, my therapist saying, it's okay to be sad. Sometimes we get sad. And she gave me some tips. Like, if you get sad and you don't want to just sit there and be sad, it's okay to be sad and watch a television show. It's okay to be sad and read a book. It's okay to be sad and play outside or play video games, or it's okay to be sad and take a nap. And it kind of just taught me that no, the grief and the sadness of change or whatever it is causing, it's going to be there. But I don't have to pause and focus on it. I can just know that I'm experiencing it and continue. And it is okay. It doesn't make me wrong. And it took off so much guilt just knowing that it is okay to be sad. Sometimes the day is just gonna be difficult. And if we focus on trying to quote unquote fix it, we can also have this need to try to fix it or remedy it. And when that doesn't work, we now also have like the guilt, or we kind of have, we can plague ourselves with just the burden of like, oh, now I can't even stop being sad, or I can't undo this, or now I can't even cheer up. And it's like, but you don't have to cheer up. It's okay to just feel what you're feeling and continue living. When I tell you, that made a world of difference. And it also helped me to not feel guilty when people would say, oh, here you go crying, or things like that. And I was in the 2nd grade, so I was crying about everything, child. But it would help me to remember that it is okay to feel things. You're supposed to. Knowing that sometimes it's just a difficult day, that will probably go very, very far for everyone who heard Prince Harry say that, of all people. Now, my therapist said it to me and I trusted her. She hadn't steered me wrong yet. We played Barbie dolls and talked, and we painted and talked. And for the longest, I didn't realize I was in therapy. I just thought she needed friends, and I was asked to be her friend. And I was just telling her all my family business. Y'all. Anyway, I just thought we was friends. We were cool. But no, turns out it was therapy and it worked. It helped a lot. But no, that stuck with me. And she built a lot of trust with me that even when I left elementary and I went on to junior high and things like that, sometimes I would still call her for phone sessions from time to time when things were getting difficult. And she would often remind me that you do not have to feel guilty for feeling things. So that goes a long way with me. And I just want to reiterate that to anybody, because we're all going to experience hard times, that we're not going to get out of life without feeling something. And it is okay to feel your way through it. You're not wrong, and there's no guilt to be felt. You are human. You're supposed to feel things. I love that he said that. That was just such a poignant piece of advice. Quote, but, and this goes for all of you, there are some days when you'd like to laugh, but it might not always be possible to laugh. Oh, Harry, you are hitting me in the heart right now. But you've got brothers and sisters, friends, this community. But yes, I think the point is that a laugh at the end of a hard day is the best medicine in the world. Y'all remember what I said last week and damn near every other video about how Invictus is so big to me? It's such a big deal to me because of not only the purpose it serves, but the community it builds. Same with WellChild. I have a video from like 3 or 4 years ago where we just kind of spent some time talking about WellChild and all of the things that it does and all the services it provides. And the number one was the community it builds and the community it fosters. Y'all know I call Prince Harry just one of the monikers I've given him myself with no approval. Nobody's approved this title, but I have just given him the leader that unites, the great uniter, the great unifier. He brings people together. He just seems to foster community and family. And there's something, I'm not going to judge his family. Like I don't do that every other day, y'all. Listen to me being fake. I'm not going to judge the royals. I do it all the time. But in this instance, I'm not going to judge his family any more harshly than I do any others. Families experience challenges and changes and hardship. Sometimes it separates them. Sometimes it brings them closer together. Sometimes it depends on the instance. But with Prince Harry, something that I've noticed is while he has relatives, and he has relatives that he is close with from what we know, as a whole, his family has not done a wonderful job of supporting him through the hardest moments in his life, which is why his nuclear family, his wife, his children, which is why the way they have fostered such a loving, tight-knit bond, and it just jumps off the screen when you see videos of them. It jumps off the phone when you see videos of them and you're watching them. It jumps out of him when he's talking in interviews. Like, he loves his family. I find it to be beautiful that he went and created something that he had in the first 12 years of his life with his mother and brother and himself, but then that he essentially lost at 12 years old. And the fact that he turned around and then created that for not only his wife and children, but that he's helping an organization that also creates that for people who have lost a key member of their families as well. To know that he does now, he has a nuclear family that supports him, but prior to Meghan, that he didn't have the most supportive family, but he is a key party to creating that for so many children and so many other families, and contributing to that not only through WellChild, not only through Scotty's Little Soldiers, but also WellChild UK and also Invictus Games Foundation. The things that he's part of, a key component seems to be community, which again is just another reason why I call him the great unifier. He's just a leader that brings people together. And this is what, in my opinion, this is what makes a public figure, and this is what they should be, playing to their values and using their values as stepping stones to building for those around them and people in the community, especially people who may or may not have that. Anyway, sorry, let me get off my soapbox. I just think it's so beautiful how he has helped to create, he has contributed to, and in some instances, like with Invictus, he has single-handedly created organizations that have built strong communities for people who may or may not have those. Beautiful. In his longtime support of Scotty's Little Soldiers, Prince Harry has previously attended several events, including Christmas parties. He also traditionally pens a letter to the children around Remembrance Day, the UK holiday marked in November that honors fallen members of the armed forces. As Remembrance approaches, I wanted to write and let you know how incredibly proud we all are of you, Harry wrote in his 2025 letter. This time of year can bring a lot of emotions, pride, love, and sometimes sadness as you remember your parent or loved one who served our country. Please know you're not alone in that, the Duke of Sussex continued. You've got each other and a whole community of friends and family who understand what this time means and who are standing right beside you, myself included. Prince Harry also remembered his own military service in the letter, reflecting on the friendships, the laughs, and the sense that no matter what, someone's got your back. He added that same spirit lives in all of you. Through Scotty's, you carry forward your parents' legacy, one built on love, courage, and service, and you keep that spirit alive every day. Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video.
Full name.
Henry Charles Albert David, Duke of Sussex.
It's a long one.
Yeah. All right, Jake.
Wow, what the was that? What do we do now? Full name.
So that's all I have for y'all today, but I do have a very special announcement about tomorrow's video. So tomorrow we will be talking about a very special episode that dropped today of the Joe Marler Will See You Now podcast that features the one, the only Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. I'm so excited to review this. This will be going on the Royal Review playlist. I can't wait to watch this and listen to it, dissect it, give you my opinions, but most of all, read yours. So I'm so excited to just dedicate an entire video to this tomorrow. It came out today, so I want to sit with it before I give my opinion. But the clips that I've seen have had me cracking up. As soon as I finish posting this, I'm actually going to go and listen to that. So y'all will be seeing me tomorrow, give my opinions on that. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that podcast video or watch that video on YouTube or listen to the podcast episode everywhere podcasts are available, please do so today so that you'll be able to give me your opinion tomorrow. So I look forward to talking about that tomorrow, as well as a few other topics as well. So all in all, it seems like Prince Harry had an amazing time in the UK. It's wonderful that he was able to touch base with all of the organizations, but especially the people behind the organizations and the people that the organizations dedicate themselves to while he was in the UK, and share in that. We know how important his humanitarian work is to him. So it's wonderful to see him in his element. But that is all I have for y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hype if you got a few left. And don't forget to comment along the way. And I will see y'all next time. Pause 1 second. If you follow my Chats and Chill, I just posted a new video about Kelly Prenny from Insecure, but I also posted a new the very first members only video over on Chats and Chill, and Chats reviewing the movie Strung. It's supposed to be a scary movie, but I just found myself cracking up. That might be one of the silliest, but most dedicated, because I mean, I didn't care for the movie, but it still made me laugh. I had to really fight to sit through that. So if you are over on Chats and Chill and you're also a member there, feel free to check that out. That came out this past weekend. So I hope y'all enjoy that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.